If you shop at Tesco, stop what you are doing and listen. Some of the most trusted own-brand products on those shelves right now are hiding dangerous levels of sodium, questionable sourcing, and ingredients that could quietly damage your blood pressure, your kidneys, and your heart. One product on this list was recalled after inspectors found something so alarming it should have been pulled years ago. Number 1 will change how you see Tesco entirely, and at the very end, I will reveal 2 products that actually passed every single safety check. Stay with me. Coming in at number 11, we have Tesco Everyday Value Chicken Soup. It costs less than £1. It sits in the cupboard of nearly every pensioner in Britain. That familiar white and blue label feels safe, dependable, the kind of thing you heat up on a cold Tuesday evening when you cannot be bothered to cook. Tesco markets their everyday value range as affordable basics you can trust. Simple food, no fuss. But pick up that tin and flip it around. Read the nutritional panel on the back. A single serving of Tesco Everyday Value Chicken Soup contains over 1.3 grams of salt. Eat the full tin, which most people do, and you're swallowing over 2.6 grams of salt in one sitting. The NHS recommends no more than 6 grams of salt per day for the average adult. That one humble tin just handed you nearly half your daily limit before you have even touched breakfast or dinner. And that is the standard everyday value product. Not the finest range, not the premium label, the budget line that pensioners on fixed incomes reach for week after week. Now here is where it gets personal. According to NHS data, 60% of adults aged 65 and over in the United Kingdom have high blood pressure. 60%. That means if you are watching this and you are over 65, the odds say your blood pressure is already elevated. And products like this are silently making it worse. Every gram of excess sodium forces your body to hold on to more water. That extra fluid puts strain on your blood vessels. Your heart works harder. Your kidneys strain to filter it all out. If you are on ACE inhibitors or ARBs, which millions of British seniors take daily, that hidden sodium is fighting directly against your medication. Your pills push your blood pressure down. That soup pushes it right back up. Open the tin and smell it. That salty metallic tang that hits you before you even reach for the saucepan. That is not chicken. That is sodium doing the heavy lifting where actual flavor should be. The broth looks thin, watery, pale yellow with tiny specks of something pretending to be chicken. You could hold it up to the light and nearly see through it. This is not nourishment. This is salt water with a label. And Tesco knows their customer base. They know who buys everyday value products. Pensioners, people on tight budgets, people who trust the Tesco name because they have shopped there for decades. That trust is being quietly exploited one tin at a time. At number 10, we have Tesco Finest Pork Sausages. Now, this one hurts because the Finest range is supposed to be the premium tier, the one you reach for when you want something better. The packaging is dark, elegant. It practically whispers quality at you from the shelf. Tesco Finest Pork Sausages promise outdoor-bred pork, seasoned with herbs, crafted with care. You pay more because you believe you are getting more. But what does the nutritional breakdown actually say? A single Tesco Finest Pork sausage can contain over 0.8 grams of salt. Cook 3 for a Sunday breakfast and you are already at 2.4 grams before you have added the bacon, the toast, or the brown sauce. Then there are the sodium nitrites, preservative E250. It is listed right there on the ingredients panel in tiny print. Most people over 50 struggle to read without glasses. Sodium nitrite keeps the meat pink. It stops bacterial growth. But the World Health Organization classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen in 2015, the same category as tobacco. And the primary preservative making that classification stick is sodium nitrite. Here is what makes this a betrayal. Tesco runs healthy eating campaigns. They promote their Eat Well range. They display nutritional traffic light labels. And then they sell Finest sausages loaded with the very preservatives and salt levels their own health messaging warns against. Why does the same supermarket that tells you to eat less salt sell premium sausages packed with it? Bite into one and it tastes incredible. Juicy, herby, Rich, that's the trap. The flavor masks the danger. Your mouth says yes. Your blood pressure says something very different. The texture is plump and glossy. That unnatural pink color that stays consistent from end to end. Real pork browns. Real pork changes color. That uniform pinkness is chemistry, not quality. If you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, excess sodium disrupts it. Your fluid balance. Your dosage relies on a stable system. Hidden salt destabilizes everything. Coming in at number 9, Tesco standard white sliced bread. Every household in Britain has a loaf. It is the most basic grocery item imaginable. Toast in the morning, sandwiches at lunch, you do not even think about it. But bread is the single largest contributor to salt intake in the UK diet. Not crisps, not ready meals. Bread. 2 slices of standard Tesco white bread contain approximately 0.9 grams of salt. Make a sandwich and you are already approaching a gram before you have added a single filling. According to a study published in PLOS Medicine, bread contributed the greatest proportion of salt purchases among all packaged food categories in the United Kingdom between 2015 and 2020. And reformulation progress has been painfully slow. The same loaf your parents bought 20 years ago has barely changed. Tesco lists the ingredients: wheat flour, water, yeast, salt, soya flour. Vegetable oil emulsifiers. That emulsifier blend includes E472E and E481, long chemical names squeezed into fine print. These are dough conditioners. They extend shelf life and improve texture, but they are not what you would use if you baked bread at home. You would use flour, water, yeast, and salt. 4 ingredients. Tesco uses nearly a dozen. Squeeze the loaf through the plastic. Feel how spongy it is. Unnaturally soft. Real bread has resistance. Real bread has weight. This is engineered fluffiness designed to feel fresh when it is not. The smell when you open the bag is faintly sweet and chemical, not the warm yeast aroma of a proper bakery. For seniors managing blood pressure, 2 slices at breakfast and 2 at lunch means nearly 2 grams of salt just from bread. Add the butter, the ham, the cheese, and you have blown through most of your daily sodium allowance without realizing. Now, if any of this is making you rethink what is in your trolley, good. But here is the thing. There is a simple way to protect yourself from every single one of these. I'm going to break it all down at the very end of this video. So keep watching. The answer is coming. At number 8, we have Tesco Chicken Tikka Masala Ready Meal, Britain's favourite curry. The nation voted it the most popular dish in the country. So, of course, Tesco sells millions of them every year. The cardboard sleeve shows rich orange sauce. Tender chicken pieces, fluffy rice. It looks like a proper Friday night takeaway for a fraction of the price. But a single portion of the standard Tesco Chicken Tikka Masala ready meal contains up to 2.4 grams of salt. That is 40% of your entire recommended daily intake in one meal. 1 plastic tray, 1 microwave session, nearly half your salt limit gone. The sauce is where the danger hides. It tastes rich because it is loaded with sodium. Cream, tomato, spices, and then salt quietly amplifying everything. You cannot taste the sodium because the spice covers it. Your tongue registers warmth and flavor. Your kidneys register something very different. Peel back the film and look at it before you heat it. The sauce has a strange sheen, slightly oily, unnaturally orange. Real tikka masala varies in color. This is artificially consistent. Heat it up and the smell fills the kitchen. Appealing, yes, but that intensity comes from flavor enhancers working alongside the sodium. For anyone on heart medication, that salt load hits your cardiovascular system hard. But this is mild compared to what is coming at number 5. That one involves something most people would never even think to check on the label. Coming in at number 7, Tesco Cream of Tomato Soup. Another cupboard classic. The red label, the comforting warmth. Tesco Cream of Tomato Soup feels like a hug in a bowl. Your mum probably served it. You probably serve it now. It tastes sweet and smooth and familiar. But why does it taste so sweet? Because there is sugar hiding in it. A standard tin contains over 14 grams of sugar. That is nearly 4 teaspoons of sugar in a bowl of soup. Soup, not dessert, not a chocolate bar. Soup. And the salt is there too. Over 1.8 grams per tin. So you are getting a double hit. sugar and sodium together. For seniors with type 2 diabetes, that sugar spike from a seemingly savory product is dangerous. Your body does not expect sugar in soup. Your insulin response is not prepared for it. Blood glucose rises, then it crashes. You feel tired, foggy, hungry again an hour later, and you blame your age when the real culprit is sitting in that cupboard. Pour it into a saucepan. Watch how thick it clings. This is not the consistency of fresh tomato soup. This is engineered viscosity, modified maize starch and cream powder creating a texture that mimics homemade. The color is vivid, unnaturally uniform. Real tomato soup has depth and variation. This is factory red from edge to edge. If you are watching on a statin for cholesterol, here is something your pharmacist might not have told you. Excess sugar consumption while on statins increases your risk of developing insulin resistance. That sweet, comforting soup is quietly undermining your medication. Why does the same supermarket that runs healthy living campaigns sell soup loaded with the very sugars and salts their own campaigns warn against? If this helps you stay safer at the shops, hit subscribe. It is free and it means you will never miss these exposes. At number 6, we have Tesco cooked sliced ham, the sandwich staple. 3 slices of Tesco own brand cooked ham in every packed lunch across the country. It is cheap, it is convenient, and it is one of the most deceptive products in the entire chilled aisle. Pick up a pack and read the ingredients. Water is often the second ingredient, not pork. Water. They inject water into the ham to increase weight. You are literally paying for water disguised as meat. Then come the sodium nitrites again. E250, the same. Preservative in the sausages, the same group 1 carcinogen link. Then dextrose, sugar in your ham, then stabilizers, polyphosphates, E451. These chemicals bind the water into the meat so it does not leak out in the packet. Without them, you would open the pack and find a puddle. The salt content is staggering. A standard 100-gram serving of Tesco sliced ham contains approximately 2.2 grams of salt. Most people eat that in a single sandwich without thinking twice, and they do it 5 days a week. That is 11 grams of salt per week just from sandwich ham. Over a month, that is 44 grams of hidden salt from one product alone. Open the pack and feel the texture. Wet, clammy. That glossy sheen on each slice is not natural. Real dry-cured ham feels firm. This feels like it might slide out of your hands. The color is uniformly pink. That is the nitrite at work. The smell is faintly metallic with a chemical edge beneath the smoke flavoring. For anyone with chronic kidney disease, and over 3 million people in the UK have it, that sodium load is devastating. Your kidneys are already struggling to filter waste. Every gram of excess salt adds to the burden. And this is a product people eat every single day without a second thought. Now, I know this all sounds grim, but there are 2 Tesco products that actually passed every single check. We will get to those, but only after we finish this countdown. Coming in at number 5, and this is the one I teased earlier, Tesco free from chocolate cupcakes. This is the entry that made us question everything. The free from range is designed for the most vulnerable shoppers, people with food allergies, people with celiac disease, people whose bodies react violently to the wrong ingredient. They depend on those labels being accurate. Their health, sometimes their lives, depends on it. And Tesco got it wrong. In late 2024, the Food Standards Agency issued a recall for Tesco free from 4 Christmas chocolate-flavored cupcakes. The reason? They contained milk that was not declared on the label. A product specifically marketed to people who cannot eat milk had milk in it. That is not a minor labeling oversight. That is a fundamental betrayal of the people who need accuracy the most. Then in 2025, Tesco recalled free from breadcrumbs because they contained wheat gluten, not declared on the label, a product for coeliacs containing the one ingredient coeliacs cannot eat. Then free from meal kits were recalled for undeclared soya. 3 recalls in the same range within months. Nearly 40% of UK adults over 65 take at least one daily medication. Many are managing autoimmune conditions, allergies, or digestive disorders. They shop the free from range because they have to, not because they want to. And when the labels lie, they have no defense. You pick up those cupcakes. The packaging says free from. The branding is reassuring, calm colors, clear text. You trust it because you have no words. Choice but to trust it. You bite into a cupcake that tastes sweet, rich, chocolatey. It melts on your tongue, and somewhere inside, an ingredient your body cannot process is already doing damage. At number 4, we have Tesco Pate range. The Tesco coarse farmhouse Pate, the smooth chicken liver Pate, the coarse Ardennes Pate. These sound traditional, rustic, like something from a French country kitchen. The packaging reinforces that image. Earthy tones, simple fonts. It feels artisanal. In January 2026, the FSA issued a recall for all 3. Incorrect use-by dates had been printed on 170-gram packs. The products were labelled as safe to eat until January 5th, when in reality they had already expired. Pate is a high-risk product for bacterial contamination. Listeria thrives in chilled meat products stored beyond their true shelf life, and Listeria is particularly dangerous for anyone over 65. The FSA notes that Listeria symptoms mimic the flu. High temperature, muscle aches. Chills. An elderly person eating contaminated pate might assume they have caught a bug. They ride it out at home, but in rare cases, Listeria causes meningitis, septicemia, death. And the people most vulnerable are the exact demographic buying Pate from Tesco. Pensioners serving it with crackers at lunch, slicing it onto toast for a light supper. Spread it on a cracker and it looks perfectly fine. Smooth. Pinkish brown, the smell is rich and savory. Nothing warns you, nothing tastes wrong, because the danger is invisible. Bacterial contamination does not announce itself, and if you think that's bad, wait until you hear what number 1 did. That one made us question whether any label at Tesco can be trusted. Now I know we have covered a lot, and if you're feeling overwhelmed, I understand. But do not switch off yet, because the most important part of this entire video is still coming. At the very end, I'm going to show you exactly how to protect yourself. Most people never learn this, but you will. Stay with me. Coming in at number 3, Tesco pasta salads. This feels like an escalation because it is. In 2025, the Food Standards Agency issued a recall for various Tesco own-brand pasta salads due to possible contamination with Salmonella. Not a labeling error, not a wrong date. Actual bacterial contamination. Salmonella. The kind that sends people to hospital. Salmonella causes fever, diarrhea, and severe abdominal cramps. For a healthy 30-year-old, that means a rough few days. For a 75-year-old with a weakened immune system, it can mean hospitalization, organ failure, or worse. The FSA advised anyone who had purchased the affected products to not eat them under any circumstances. Picture it sitting in a pensioner's fridge. A clear plastic tub. Pasta spirals coated in creamy dressing. Cherry tomatoes. Maybe some sweet corn. It looks fresh. Colourful. Harmless. You open the lid and the smell is faintly tangy. Normal. Nothing alarming. You eat half for lunch and save the rest for tomorrow. And invisible bacteria are already multiplying inside your digestive system. According to Public Health England, adults aged 65 and over account for a disproportionate number of severe Salmonella hospitalizations each year. Their immune systems are slower to respond. The infection takes hold faster. Recovery takes longer. Some never fully recover. This was not a theoretical risk. This was a live contamination event. Products on shelves, products in trolleys, products in fridges across the country. And the only thing between a pensioner and a hospital bed was whether they happened to check the FSA recall list that week. At number 2, we have Tesco cooked beef slices. 10 slices, 125-gram pack, sitting in the chilled meat aisle right next to the ham. In December 2024, Tesco recalled their 10 cooked beef slices because the use-by date printed on the pack was wrong. The label said January 24, 2025. The actual safe date was December 24, 24. A full month of false safety printed on every single pack. That means someone could buy those beef slices on Christmas Eve, put them in the fridge, and eat them 3 weeks later in January, believing they were perfectly safe. They were not. After the real expiry date, bacterial growth accelerates. Pathogenic organisms multiply. The meat starts to break down in ways you cannot see, smell, or taste until it is too late. Open the pack and the slices look fine, thin, pink-brown, neatly layered. The smell is neutral, maybe faintly beefy. Nothing warns you. That is the terrifying part. Your senses give you the all clear while the product is quietly becoming dangerous. For seniors with compromised digestive systems, eating expired meat can trigger severe food poisoning that leads to dehydration, kidney stress, and emergency hospital visits. The High Court has ruled against Tesco on other labelling matters in recent years. In 2023, the court found Tesco took unfair advantage of competitor branding with its club card design. Labelling accuracy has been a recurring issue, and when the labels on your food are wrong, it is not a branding dispute, it is a health hazard. But none of that prepared us for number one. This is the one that changed how we look at Tesco entirely. Coming in at number one, and this is the one we warned you about at the very start, Tesco Value Beef Lasagna. If you lived in the United Kingdom in 2013, you remember this. The horsemeat scandal, the moment that shattered trust in supermarket food across the entire country. DNA testing revealed that beef products sold in major UK supermarkets, including Tesco, contained undeclared horsemeat. Tesco Everyday Value Beef. Lasagna was at the centre of the storm. Products labelled as beef contained horse DNA, not a trace. Significant quantities. The Food Standards Agency launched an emergency investigation. Products were pulled from shelves nationwide. Tesco issued public apologies, but the damage went far deeper than embarrassment. This was fraud. Consumers paid for beef. They received horse. The entire supply chain was compromised. Middlemen, suppliers, processors, all cutting corners to increase margins. And it ended up in your lasagna. Think about what that means for someone on medication. Horsemeat can contain phenylbutazone, a veterinary anti-inflammatory drug banned from the human food chain. Phenylbutazone is toxic to humans in accumulated doses. It suppresses bone marrow function. For anyone already on blood thinners or immunosuppressants, that interaction could be catastrophic. According to the FSA investigation at the time, an estimated 10 million beef products across the UK contained undeclared horsemeat. 10 million. That is not a rounding error. That is industrial-scale deception. And the investigation revealed that Tesco had less direct oversight of its budget supply chains than its premium lines. The products aimed at the most price-sensitive customers, pensioners, on fixed incomes, families stretching every pound, had the weakest safeguards. Pull that lasagna from the freezer and heat it up. The pasta goes soft and pale. The meat sauce is dark, thick, and uniform. It smells like any bolognese. It tastes acceptable. Nothing alerts you, because the deception was never in the flavour. It was in the DNA. The horsemeat scandal was over a decade ago, but the question it raised has never been fully answered. When the pressure to cut costs meets the reality of a vast supply chain, can you truly trust what any budget label tells you? 1 in 3 adults over 60 in this country has high blood pressure. Millions take daily heart medication. And the food they trust most, the budget range designed for them, was the range most vulnerable to fraud. That is the real betrayal, not the horse DNA. The fact that the people who could afford the least were protected the least. And for seniors relying on those products to stretch their pensions, that broken trust has never been fully repaired. Remember earlier when I said there were 2 Tesco products that actually passed every single test? Here they are. The first safe option is Tesco Organic Porridge Oats. 1 ingredient: organic oats. No added salt, no added sugar, no preservatives, no emulsifiers, no chemical names you cannot pronounce. The Soil Association certifies the organic sourcing. Independent testing consistently shows clean results. No pesticide residues above reporting limits. For seniors managing blood pressure, oats contain beta-glucan, a soluble fibre clinically proven to help reduce cholesterol. This is one of the few products where the front of the pack and the back of the pack tell the same story. The second safe option is the Tesco Eat Well chicken and vegetable broth. This range was specifically reformulated to meet lower salt targets. A full portion contains under 0.6 grams of salt. That is classified as green on the traffic light label. No artificial preservatives. Clean ingredient list: chicken, vegetables, herbs, and a broth made from real stock. It is one of the few ready-to-eat Tesco products that does not rely on sodium to carry the flavour. Earlier I told you there was a way to protect yourself. This is it. Stick with these 2 as your anchors. But more importantly, flip every product over before it goes in your trolley. Ignore the front of the pack entirely. The front is marketing. The back is truth. Check the salt per 100 grams. If it is above 1.5 grams, put it back. Check the sugar. If it is above 12.5 grams per 100 grams, it gets a red traffic light for a reason. And never assume that free from means safe, or that finest means healthy. Every label needs checking. Every single time. Do not risk your health on products that are not what they claim. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.